Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Yes, it is.
There she is, right there. How are you today, Lauren?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again, on Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. Email is podcast@wildershow.com, or just do what so many are doing. Engage wherever you find us on those platforms. So, wherever you listen, a thumbs up or a comment or a little wiseassery or whatever you want.
You sounded so much like the president just then.
How so?
Many people are doing it.
The likes of which,
as many people are doing.
It's many people are saying, it's not me. Many people are saying, go to like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. The likes of which no one has ever seen before. Well, we mentioned the Taylor Sheridan thing. I don't know. I binged a whole show in like a day last weekend, or the previous weekend. But last time we talked about it. And we mentioned Lioness, which is another Taylor Sheridan thing. And I didn't even know this, but it's a military thing. Really, women lion, like a lion, but like a lioness.
We got it.
So there's a whole group of tough women, and it is what's her name? Did I say Zoe Saldana?
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I'm not the hugest fan, but she's pretty good in this. Anyway,
she's been in the top. If you look at the list of the top grossing movies of all time, she's been in like 9 of 10 or some ridiculous number like that.
Because she was in the superhero movies, or what do they call them?
Was she in Marvel? I was thinking of the Avatar.
Movies.
She's also in the Avatar movies. Yeah.
Anyway, she's also in some pretty funny TV phone commercials.
T-Mobile?
Is it T-Mobile? She's pretty good. I dig her in that. Anyway, I didn't even know it at the time we were talking last time, but season 3 began over the weekend. Yeah. So I did watch. Let me just say out front, it is not for everyone. The language is quite rough, but and I did forget that Taylor Sheridan had written himself a part in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's Cody.
Okay.
And Cody is, as you might imagine, he's tough.
Is he a good actor?
He's okay. He was an actor before he was ever anything else.
I think I did know that.
He acted for a while. Then he just then he wrote the thing. Then he wrote the thing for
Sicario.
And then he wrote Hell or High Water.
Forgot about that.
That's a great one. And of course, I'm all things Texas, so it's so true to Texas.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lioness is back. As I say, rough language. I'll probably watch it.
Nicole Kidman's in that too?
Yeah, so is Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah.
So is Michael Kelly. You know who Michael Kelly is?
No, remind me.
Oh, you love Michael Kelly.
I've seen him in things, right?
Yeah. Michael, well, he was in, did you ever see, what was it? It was called State of Play?
I don't think so.
With Russell Crowe and with, not Matt Damon, the other one.
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, Ben Affleck. He was in that.
I don't think so.
He was in that.
Yeah.
He also, I'll tell you who he was. He was the chief of staff in House of Cards.
I didn't really watch that.
Okay, I want you to look it up. Look at his picture up while I finish this out. Michael Kelly, actor. Anyway, Lioness is back.
Yeah.
You see who he is?
Oh, yeah. He's
really
been around
good.
forever.
Yeah, and he's really, really good. Okay, some news. We have lots to get to. We have a war update with a Greek mythology twist. Todd Blanche update, and the meaning of the word is. Maybe a couple of things from Conspiracy Corner, and then everybody can relax for Scattershoot and exhale. 2 people have died in Michigan from cyclosporiasis. And that is that horrible, never should there be a sentence in which explosive and diarrhea are side by side.
No.
So not making light of it, but man, they said both people that died had underlying conditions, so something else. They could have died with it, not from it or of it. But it's the first deaths associated with it, so obviously we'll be watching that. Let me start with U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro. She is in hot water.
What did she do?
In fact, by the time you hear this, she may have lost her gig. This is just crazy. This has to do with the reflecting pool, right? Remember the reflecting pool?
I do.
They took no bid contract to fix, quote, fix the reflecting pool. There was some algae and this kind of stuff, and Donald Trump Yeah, probably wanted to put gold leaf at the bottom. But anyway, he was going to clean it up. They hired somebody to clean. Now, no bid contract doesn't mean necessarily something bad. I mean, it could mean something bad, but it doesn't have to mean something bad.
Yeah.
When would it be okay to do a no bid contract? Let's say there's an emergency or a disaster, and you have to get it done like right now. Mm-hmm. That would be one example. Another example would be if there's someone with a particular expertise. Mm-hmm. They're just the best at this. And those are the ones, we're not going to go through the whole time-consuming process of pretending we're going to go after all these other people that can't do it near like these guys can do it. We're just going to go with these guys.
We know they're the ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're the ones. They're the man, whatever. So that would be a time when it would make sense to do a no-bid contract. So this was a no-bid contract granted to a company to get the fix, and it didn't fix it. The algae returned, and then there was that hole, the base of the reflecting pool that was beginning to peel up. Mm-hmm. And here is the way it went. So he went to Jeanine Pirro, and she, quote, found the culprit. Remember this? They arrested a guy. He was like a former Olympian. Mm-hmm. That somebody said they saw him cutting something and ripping with both hands the bottom of the reflecting pool. He denied vandalism, but charges were brought. And Pirro, if you remember, it was a very intense press conference. I mean, she's a little bit feisty for me, but she but she really is, sort of in a Trumpian way, berating reporters that were asking questions. It was kind of ridiculous. She was going way, way over, saying, beyond dispute, but basically he's guilty, period. Anyway, she was quite sure it was vandalism. And so she, grabbed the former Olympian as the vandal. Okay, so fast forward. District of Columbia U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro blamed the Department of Interior for her failed criminal case against the former Olympian she accused of damaging the reflecting pool. In a filing, this is a court filing on Friday, Pirro said she was dropping the charges because her office had received information, quote, showing that the damage was the result of a botched installation and not vandalism as initially represented by the DOI.
Wow.
Let me keep going. So Pirro also placed some blame on President Trump, saying it was his demand that renovations on the pool be completed by July 4th for the 250th birthday of our country. She wrote, the rush to complete the project led to hasty and botched work that was not remediated before the project was finished and the fencing removed. Wow. That is, first of all, she says that out loud. Uh-huh. She names the president. She puts it in a court document. So as you might imagine, the president was furious. Mm-hmm. And the president wrote in social media, I disagree 100% with Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, on the reflecting pool. I don't know what she was thinking. To me, it was pure case of vandalism, all caps. That included the grass, which had a big 8647 emblazoned in giant letters on it, and other elements of the surrounding area. There may have been some contractor difficulty, but the major damage was caused by vandals, all caps. President DJT, exclamation mark. No words about whether she is about to get fired, but I think she's done. I really do. It might have happened by the time this podcast drops. But when the president calls you out by name and, quote, disagrees with you 100%, it portends
days are numbered.
Yeah, future departure. Little story time.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're not fired yet, you're actually already fired. I mean, you're fired long before you're actually gone. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell a story. We both worked for a radio station. But before I was hired for this radio station, the station was at the corner of Mockingbird and 75 Central Expressway.
Right.
Number one station in town. Before I was hired there, they had a big promotion they were doing with another staple of our area, Dr. Pepper. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Pepper's headquarters were right there, very near the radio station.
Practically throw a rock at it.
Absolutely. See the Capital Bank building, where it used to be Capital Bank building, right there. It's now Mockingbird Station, that whole area. Mm-hmm. But it used to be Capital Bank building, 5th floor, as I recall. Yep. So 5th floor of the Capitol Bank building. So right down the road, just east of there on Mockingbird, was the massive plant for Dr. Pepper. If you go there now, there's a massive high-end Kroger there that even on the sign, it still has the 10, 2, and 4.
Yep.
So it's still a little hat tip to its history there in the area. So they're about to announce and embark on a major promotion with Dr. Pepper. It's an all-hands thing. They bring everybody from the radio station. All DJs come from the radio station to a big meeting at a conference, a big conference room there at the top floor of the Dr. Pepper building. All the big shots from Dr. Pepper are going to be there. All the people from the radio station were there. The morning guy was there. The promotions people were there. The production people were there. There were presentations, and there was music, and there was promos that were going to be played, all this kind of stuff. All the salespeople, the general manager, everybody was there at this event. So everybody sits down, and as you sit down in this conference room at the Dr. Pepper headquarters, an assistant comes through and takes a drink order from everyone. And so people are asking, they'll say, I'll take a Dr. Pepper, I'll take a Dr. Pepper, the Diet Dr. Pepper, I'll take a Dr. Pepper, I'll take a Diet Dr. Pepper. Well, one guy thought he'd be a little bit funny, and he said, do you have any Diet Coke? The king of that radio station leaned over to the assistant king and said, kill him. That guy was not gone at that moment, but that guy was fired at that moment.
Right.
Now, little fact. When he was fired, I was hired to take his place. Had that not happened, Lauren, we would never have met. And think of how much, and think of how peaceful your life, how much better your life would be if only that guy had not ordered a Diet Coke at the conference room of the Dr. Pepper headquarters.
History was made. We didn't even know it.
So could this be the case for Janine Pirro? Was she asking for a Diet Coke at the conference table of the Dr. Pepper headquarters? We'll see. But when she's gone, just know that this was when she was fired. War update such as it is, which actually prompts a little Greek mythology reminder.
What's that?
There's a piece in the, I think, New York Times. I'll read part of it, and we'll dive in. For Iran, Trump's reversal on escalation. Let me go back. Last time we chatted, the president was really ready to take it to him over the weekend, right? It was going to happen over the weekend. Well, he didn't. So that whole process of you threaten and then you back off because you're talked into it by the people in the area. Hey, give him another chance. We're going to give him a chance. We'll give him a chance. But if they don't do it this time, this is the last chance. And then the market goes up, the market goes down. So here we go. For Iran, Trump's reversal on escalation shows who has the upper hand. I'm not saying I agree with this, just going to tell you what's in the news. Just going to go through this and then get to a little mythology for fun. By expanding the arena of fighting in the region, experts say, Tehran sent a warning about the dangers of a widening war. When President Trump appeared to back down once again from a threatened military escalation against Tehran, he offered fresh fodder for the narrative Iranian officials are eager to promote. They are not the ones who fear war. Mr. Trump is. Iran's leadership believes it has found the world's Achilles heel. With the help of regional militia allies, Tehran spent last week underscoring its ability to threaten several of the world's most critical energy facilities and waterways. It has continued to up the ante in its face-off with Washington over when and how to stop their renewed hostilities and return to a short-lived deal to start peace negotiations, which fell apart last month. Wrapping up this little part of the piece. When Mr. Trump signaled in recent days that a major escalation was imminent, if no concessions were made, two former Iranian officials said Tehran's leadership told him, go right ahead. So we'll come back to that in a second. Achilles. That's what got me thinking Achilles.
Oh,
when you think of Achilles, when I say Achilles, what do you think of?
The heel.
Achilles heel. Do you know what Achilles heel is?
The weak spot.
That's the weak spot, a particular or specific weakness. For example, Scott can normally avoid sweets, but Aunt Mary's chocolate icebox pie is his Achilles heel. That's his particular and specific weakness. By the way, if I were a sports doctor and I had a practice, I would call it Achilles heel, Heal. Greek mythology. Here's the story. You remember this? You got to remember this.
Oh,
okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. In Greek mythology, Achilles was the son of a mortal king and a sea nymph or goddess named Thetis. And Thetis held Achilles by the heel and dipped his entire body into the magical river Styx. And I won't do the whole what's the deal with the river Styx, but it was magical.
Yeah.
And anything sworn by it must be true. Anyway, by dipping him in there, the water made his whole body completely safe from harm. He was invulnerable except for one spot.
Right where her hand was covering.
Right
on
where
his
her hand.
heel.
That's right. Right where her hand was. And so Achilles grew up strongest, bravest fighter for the Greek army during the long Trojan War. But then during the battle, the Trojan prince shot an arrow at him. The god Apollo guided the arrow right to Achilles' unprotected little part of his heel, which caused his death. Okay, so back to the war. Iran is ready for the war and they won't back down, said a former Iranian diplomat who said he had met over the weekend with the team surrounding Iran's head negotiator and Speaker of Parliament, described an exchange of messages between the U.S. and Iranian officials sent over the weekend through Pakistan and Qatari officials, in which he said Mr. Trump vowed a severe attack on civilian infrastructure like power plants if the Iranians did not negotiate. And they didn't. So who has the power? I don't know. So the very latest, as of the time we're sitting down, despite the president's comments that negotiations with Iran are going on right now, even U.S. officials have said, yeah, there's nothing new. The president called Iran's leadership unbelievably duplicitous after Iran said hours earlier that it had no plans to hold direct talks with Washington. And then the president says, no, there are talks going on right now. The president said on Sunday, the deal is imminent, having to do with Hormuz Strait and also ultimately the denuclearization of Iran. The president said, Iran says, yeah, we're not talking to them. We're talking to Oman. We're not talking to the United States. And again, everything could change. Anything could change by the time you hear this. Okay, a few things some might think belong in something called the Conspiracy Corner.
Uncle Scott's Conspiracy Corner. Again, it's a big
No, it's a big corner. Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, these are just things. This is probably not one of those things. But quickly on Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, we talked about, his name was up and it was in the committee, and the committee includes John Cornyn. And John Cornyn is one of those YOLO guys because he's still active, but he's kind of not active. He's totally lame duck. And so he can kind of tell the truth now. The president wants him to support Todd Blanche. And he says, wait a minute. I don't like that whole thing about the slush fund. I don't like that idea. And I don't think I can vote for him until I get in writing that it's dead. Not that it's not being pursued right now. We've stopped our pursuit of this fund. $1.8 billion, John Cornyn and others, Tillis and others, and by the way, a whole bunch of others who won't say it because they're not YOLO. They need the president or his, they don't want to have his hate on them right here at the midterms. But John Cornyn says, yeah, I can't until I get in writing that it is dead. Not mostly dead, but that it really is dead. I can't support it. So here's the latest on that. Todd Blanche said, and I'm quoting now, this is a little bit wordy, but stay with me. For the avoidance of doubt, nothing in this order is intended to contradict or otherwise be contrary to prior representations by the Department of Justice that the fund is not operative. No members were appointed, no funds were transferred, no process for receiving claims was established, no claims were paid. Nevertheless, several frivolous lawsuits have been filed challenging the fund, and at least one court has declined to dismiss those claims as moot. And it continues, and here's what I'm talking about. This order establishes beyond any doubt that there is no fund. Any problems? Anybody see any problems? Have we ever had to talk about the meaning of the word is? We know there is no fund. We know there is no fund. The question is not whether there is a fund. The question is whether it's going to be pursued. So when you conclude there is no fund, beyond the shadow of a doubt, there is no fund. I did not have. There is no fund. Now, if they jimmy with this kind of thing, if they do any shenanigans on this, it's going to be tough. Just procedurally, I think that vote takes place today, but it's not a vote on Todd Blanche. It's a vote to put it to the Senate for a floor vote.
Okay.
Now, they all want to go home at the end of the week, so probably it's going to happen by the end of the week. But I would just, not to be a conspiracy guy, but I would say, words matter. This order establishes beyond any doubt that there is no fund. I know there is no fund. That's not the problem. All right. The president holds a cabinet meeting at Camp David last Friday. Also met with Benjamin Netanyahu at Camp David last Friday. So he's been to Camp David how many times in 6 years? 4. And 2 of them in the last month. It has some people wondering why he could have had the cabinet meeting where he always does there in the White House with all those people around him, telling him good things, and could have met with Netanyahu there in the White House, but instead drags the whole cabinet, travels to Camp David for about a 1-hour meeting. Some have pointed out that there's a medical facility there.
Oh.
So it's something that is more private than going to Walter Reed in Bethesda. I'm not saying that happened. He hates Camp David, as we've said before. He's been there now, I think, 4 times in 6 years. Mm-hmm. And 2 of those times in the last couple of weeks. All right, Charlie Kirk, and then we'll get to Scattershoot. Details are trending on your social media feed. If you followed Charlie Kirk events back when on college campuses, or even if you didn't back then and now you've seen them, coverage of them over the last year, you know that there were many sources that they had for video. They'd have video from cell phones, they have video from cameras, they have videos on tripods, they have handheld videos of the crowd, of him, back and forth. Lots of different sources of video that they then would go back and put together and piece together. But they also had many sources of audio. Mm-hmm. You'd have audio, a microphone on a camera. You'd have a microphone that he holds in his hand, the handheld microphone. You'd have a microphone that is on the phone that is recording something.
Sure.
And you have the lavalier wireless mic. So all of those are tracking different audio. The wireless mic is always right here wherever it was. The handheld mic, when he puts it down, it would not be heard. Over here it's not heard like it is when he puts it right back to his face. Okay. And some of the people have said that they think that wireless mic is a Rode mic, RODE. That's the brand. Mm-hmm. It's a Rode wireless mic, that Bluetooth mic or whatever, that he had it there on his chest. That perhaps it was something happened, exploded or something. And other people said that's completely crazy. And I would just like to offer something that could clear it all up really easily, and I'm not kidding. If that Rode mic did not explode, it was still feeding audio.
Right.
Just release the audio. Release the audio from the time there was a shot. Let's say the mic is still working fine. The mic that was on the table was working fine. The cameras that were recording things, those cameras were working fine. So that wireless mic that he's wearing was still delivering audio. If it did not explode, and I'm not saying that it did, but if it did not explode, it was still working. It was still feeding audio. Just release that audio.
Who's calling for the release of the audio? All right, let me go back a step. Who's suggesting that maybe there was something going on with the
Rode mic?
The Rode mic.
Oh,
yeah.
It's big. Many people believe that the mic exploded and sent a projectile, that he was not fired on from the rooftop, that it was actually an exploding, a la the exploding pagers against Hamas.
Yeah.
I'm not saying who did it. I'm not saying the blue and white country had anything to do with it. I'm just saying.
Are we still a little bit in the conspiracy corner? And I'm not suggesting, but who knows? Who knows what happened? And maybe someday we will know exactly what happened. But I guess, when you say just release the audio, to whom are they beholden? What claims? Could anybody make a claim? I think maybe this happened. So just tell me why it didn't happen. Tell me why it did. Release some kind of proof that will suggest that my thoughts here are not exactly the way it happened.
Well, this is big enough, actually. Enough people have wondered if that is what happened. Uh-huh. I mean, people that I don't want to name them, but I mean, podcasters with millions and millions of views have suggested perhaps this was something that could have happened. And I would just say that I was just trying to actually give a good thing.
Yeah.
Just if it didn't happen, and I don't know that it happened, if it didn't happen, then what we know is the audio still would have been recording.
Wouldn't it? It would be
Simple.
shocking, horrible audio, though, right?
Well, so is all the video that's been released. I mean, the video is much more horrible than the audio. If you have an audio of mayhem that went for 10, 15 seconds or 40 seconds until they could drag him to an SUV,
but
that's not horrific. What's horrific is seeing the video 1,000 times. But if you just that would put that to bed immediately.
They didn't release the video, though, right? I mean, that video was pirated, for lack of a better word, and released on the internet.
I'm not sure what they've released. I know there's a lot they have not released in video. But yeah, that's right. My only point is you could put this conspiracy theory to bed like that in a second.
Yeah.
And it's not just me saying it. It's out there.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I don't know that would put the conspiracy theory to bed. It would just maybe prove to people, okay, that's not the way it happened.
And that's all that I really meant was people who think that is the way it happened. If that microphone survived that moment, then we know definitively that microphone had nothing to do with it. And we can move on to something else. Maybe it was the trans friendly guy on the roof. Maybe, I don't know. And I have thoughts about the 65,000 Moroccans who simultaneously decided to swim 15 miles to invade Spain. But it's time for Scatter Shoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scatter Shoot. All right.
Have you been to the library lately?
Is that where they have books?
I didn't mean for it to be a joke. It is where they have books. They have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have not been to a library. Last time I went to a library, in all seriousness, was to vote. But I know you don't mean that. When is the last time I was at a library?
It just, in all honesty, it had been a long time for me too.
Wow. How old are my kids?
They're in their mid-30s.
Yeah.
Early to mid-30s.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time. I just don't have a need. I don't want to go to the whole thing.
You don't have a need for books?
No, I don't have a need to go to the library.
Yeah.
I know there are people that do. I'm not casting aspersions, but I have had, as you know, off the air or off the podcast, I have had thoughts about whether perhaps it's time. Well, let me say this. I've had thoughts about the library that are not dissimilar from Timothy Chalamet's thoughts about the opera. I've thought that perhaps the day has come and gone that you can't have a building that has all books. We now have, so everything has to be a decision. We have other ways of getting our books quicker. There was a day when nobody had internet.
Not checking them out for free, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
well, that's
I can
true.
buy a book and have it delivered in no time at all. But I can't
filling out the thing.
I can't borrow it.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but the shortest answer to your question is a long time. A long time.
I did notice, though, and this is not what I was going to even talk about. I did notice, though, even though you are not a consumer of the library and have not been for many, many, many years, you still have very strong opinions about the library and whether or not it should even exist anymore.
Well, I think if there's a need for it, it is a public expense. That's the only thing. It's not a private thing. If it was a private thing, and say, well, no, this is really, what do you care if somebody decides they want to have somebody sign a card and borrow a book, walk around with it for 2 weeks, or whatever people do. I would say I don't have any problem with it at all. It is a thing. It is a budget item. It's a line item budget that when you're going to have libraries, then it's okay. Well, if we're going to do that, do I get a say in what books are in there and what are not in there? Because I know you can't have all the books in there. So which books are you not putting in there? And how about those reading things that go on for the kids? kids. Is that okay? Because that's all publicly funded too. So it just kind of introduces something that I'm not sure. I mean, there was a day, I remember when I was a kid, we did a thing for the summer reading program.
Yeah.
You go and check out a book and you have a little chart and you have stars and you put the little stickers on where you read the books. And it was great. I mean, it was really, but it was a different day too, you know? It's a different day today than then. But yeah, of course, I still have opinions on most things.
I have found that to be true. Well, I got my first library card in a long time, and it's because I've started for years and years and years. I was a big reader, and I've sort of lapsed a little bit in the past few years, and have just spent more time on news and things like that, periodicals, knowing my celebrity baby names and things like that.
Very important.
And I've started reading a little bit more, and I'm in a book club now. And I just decided I don't necessarily want to buy all of these books. I'd love to take advantage of this beautiful library that I have in my city and borrow the books from the library.
Good for you.
So I went and I got a library card, and the book that I wanted was not there. Other people had already checked it out, and it's actually, I mean, in this case, it's a book I'd already read, so it's not that big a deal. I just it was probably 20 years ago that I read it, so I wanted to check it out so I could read it again. I did find another book I wanted to check out though, but here's the thing: this book asked me when the book is due.
See, this is the thing. It's either going to be a long time from now or not at all long. I think it seems like you could check things out for 2 weeks or something. Is it due early 27?
It's not really due. There's
there
are no fines. There are no fines. The book will not be overdue.
Your taxpayer dollars
and
at work.
I didn't ask anybody about this, and I haven't done any research, but I do. It does. I had a friend years ago. We're talking about this same library now, the library in the city where I live. And she used to check out a lot of videos. She had nieces and nephews that she would have come over, and she'd check out videos for the kids. And the videos, if they were overdue, it was like $1 a day for the videos. And at one point she had like an $85 fine for these videos that she'd not taken back.
Could've
And she said, I can never go back to the library again. And I think that might be what happened. They just gave up. They just gave up on fines.
Think about that for a second. So you have books. Let's say the popular one you wanted. Let's say they have 4 of those books.
Yeah.
They check them out. It's really popular. 4 people get them, and they never have to return them.
Well,
and it just seems to me that's a crazy thing. First of all, it is not efficient for people who want to, use it the next time. We can't have 1,800 of this one copy. We have 4 or 5 of them or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like, wait a minute. So we're just giving people books, and if they never return it, it's okay. I mean, that is so typical of government use or abuse.
Let me be clear, though. All over this book, it's stamped, property of my city public library. It's not that they're saying they don't expect you to bring it back. It's just not the same kind. It used to be 3 weeks, I think, and it had the little card in the front of it that reminded you when it was due. And if you didn't take it back, I think the fine might have been $0.10 a day or something. Something like that.
I don't go too deep because you have a point you want to make. But I would say okay. So if somebody saw you with it, and it's the property of West Undershirt Library.
Yeah.
Okay, well, big deal. I checked it out. That's no big deal. So then I look in the inside and I go, oh yeah, but I know I've had it for 3 years. So the main thing is,
they know I have it too.
But
I checked it out. They can send me an email. They can tap me on the shoulder and remind me.
And say, would you please bring it back?
Yeah, don't forget you have this. You have this book.
Well, we'll see. I would ask you to test that out, see how that goes.
Yeah.
For your
Trust
book
me, I probably will.
No, you're good. You're a good reader. I'm not a reader. I don't read. I barely read subtitles. I say if I wanted to read, I'd get a book.
I'm a good reader, but I am not a good returner. I mean, I had plenty of fines at the librry, but I said, it was $0.10 a day.
Yeah.
We might rack up a
deal.
couple of bucks here and there. What Blockbuster though? Don't even get me started. There was a point in time when I said, I can't rent videos anymore. I can't trust myself. I can't be trusted to take them back, and I'm a terrible example for these young children that I'm raising.
I remember the time when Blockbuster. I remember saying on the radio, I said, listen, the reason why renting things are so cheap at Blockbuster is because I promise you, they make all their money on late fees.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out like a quarter later, maybe half a year later, there was a news piece that said, yeah, they made more money on late fees for returns than they made on rentals.
Well, and that's our fault. That's not their fault.
No, I understand, but they knew human nature.
Sure.
They knew, hey, no, it's okay. Let them have them for $1. Rent it for $1. But if they're late coming back, it's going to be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, they made more money on the returns than they did on the rentals.
Yeah. If I were to ask you to name the vehicle that's on the road right now that you see in traffic, maybe not on a daily basis, but probably pretty close to a daily basis, that has drawn more vitriol than any other car on the road right now, what would it be? And it's not like a Waymo. It's not it's not a self-driving car.
Like somebody's car that they
really
would be driving. Okay.
Yeah.
I probably would say either Tesla or one of those Tesla trucks.
That's exactly it.
Is that
It's the Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Tough times for the Cybertruck.
I think, look, if people want to have stuff like that, what do I care? And maybe it's cool. I've never even sat in one. I mean, I've been in a Tesla, and those are interesting, but I don't know. It seems like I thought it was a goof when I first saw one.
I did too.
I thought, really, so okay, when you pull all that cardboard off, is there going to be a good looking thing underneath it? Because I couldn't believe that was the real deal.
You know what it reminds me of? Kind of. This is quite a stretch. Many years ago, when we first started listening to Lady Gaga. When we first started hearing Lady Gaga, because I don't know that I have ever really been a big consumer of her music. I hear it on the radio and I hear it around, and she's nearly ubiquitous. So I know who she is and I know what the songs are. She's had some songs that I've thought, really, is this for real?
Is she pulling her leg?
Did she look at somebody and say, watch this, I'm going to make them think. And
I'm going to do this and they're going to buy it.
I'm thinking, please forgive me, any Lady Gaga fans, but it was the one, Bad Romance.
I don't know the song.
Rah, rah, ooh la la, da da da. Just like nonsense lyrics as far as I was concerned. And I really kind of thought, is this
it's a goof.
It's kind of what I thought.
It's a goof.
When I saw the Cybertruck,
Yeah.
I thought, Elon looked at somebody and said, watch this.
Yeah.
We're going to make them
They're gonna
think
buy
that
anything.
they're going to, and the truth is, we're not buying anything.
Oh, is that they're not buying them?
We're not. The truck's performance has fallen far short of what Elon Musk said it could reach. Cybertruck sales remain well below the hundreds of thousands of units per year that were once envisioned, and people are actually comparing it to the Edsel. The car that was launched in 1957 with enormous publicity, but was gone in fewer than 2 years. Its first-year sales totaled under a third of Ford's 200,000 goal. Tesla's gap is even wider than that. The company set a target of 250,000 Cybertrucks a year, but the model sold fewer than 40,000 units in its first year. This is a Bloomberg piece that cited S&P Global Mobility data that showed only about 7,100 having been registered in the United States this year. And what do people say is a major factor in this failure? It's not how much it costs.
No, it's obviously because it's so ugly.
It's what it looks like.
And the other thing is, the people who buy those, first of all, when you get a truck, you can even get a fancy truck. But usually over time, you're going to use the truck for a purpose. It's not just a sort of a visual. You're going to use
haul
it.
stuff.
That's right. And I don't get it with those vehicles. But, like I said, people, I think part of it was great subsidy on the purchase of electric vehicles. And some of that subsidy has kind of gone away.
Yeah.
In other words, you say, well, I can't really spend that much money on a Tesla. Say, no, don't worry about it because there's a subsidy. It's subsidized. If you do this because you're going energy efficient, you're going green. And so the government's going to give you a big break.
Yeah.
Those big breaks have sort of gone away. So it's sort of like if you came up with something and you said the government's going to pay 20% of anybody who buys your stuff. I think we'll sell even more then.
Yeah.
What if that 20% of whatever it is goes away?
Mm-hmm. Well, nobody expects that the Cybertruck will actually go away, like that they won't necessarily, abruptly discontinue them. But it's more likely to just kind of slowly fade from prominence.
Maybe it would be popular on Mars when Elon gets us there.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I can take the chat. It's just all that chit.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
I know.
stories.
Tell the story. Tell the story.
Real quick. It's a great story, and it was we all, those of us who grew up with Dean Martin and the stories of Dean Martin, and Dean Martin always had a cigarette going and always had a glass of brown water going,
little ice clinking in the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So he's always drinking, always a little slushy, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little lushy,
and slurry,
a little slurry, really relaxed. And as the story goes, his son, Dino, Dean Martin's son, Dino, would tell this story after Dean Martin died. And the story was that he was not like that at all in real life. That was all just a persona. It worked on TV, worked in movies, worked in Hollywood, worked in public, but he was nothing like that. He was very much, a homebody.
Yeah.
Didn't like a lot of stuff like that. In fact, Dino, the son, tells the story of his dad at a party at their home that was going on late into the night, and Dean Martin was ready for it to be over. And he snuck to a neighbor's house and called the police to report
too much noise
at his own home.
Yeah.
And the police came out and shut it down.
Broke it all
and
up.
So the reporter was asking Dino about his dad, about Dean Martin, and said, that's really surprising. He said, well, my dad had a saying. He said, chit chat. He said, I can take the chat. That's not a problem. It's just all that chit.
Well, listen, he might have been missing out on a really important mental health boost because scientists say that it's what we all need right now. Small talk.
Yeah.
If you're not getting enough small talk, you're probably missing out on a very important mood boost. You mentioned something to me just a few weeks ago, and I think you said, maybe it was even last week, about something that we might talk about on the podcast. And it was something that I had seen too, and I don't think we ever got to it. We're using fewer and fewer words a day. First of all, it talked about how we used to think that women used so many more words in a day than men did. And after, many studies now have proven that to be untrue, that men use plenty of words too. And it's not necessarily even that many fewer than women do. But because of the time that we're spending texting now instead of talking, our communication has changed. We're working at home more. We're spending less time with groups of people. We're more mobile as a society, if that's even the way you would describe it. We used to spend more time living in homes together with lots of people, and now our kids move away, and they might not even stay in the same city. They move further away. The whole point of it is that we're using fewer words than we used to use before. And studies are now finding that chit-chatting with strangers or social acquaintances, it's good for us. We're not a pleasant chat with somebody that we don't know can soothe or support us when no one else is around, when we don't have other people around us to boost our mood, and it can help broaden our perspective. I know that that's really important to you, broadening your perspective.
It's plenty
Small
broad
talk
enough.
helps.
It's plenty broad enough. I don't need help in that area.
I don't know
I'm
about
good.
that.
Thank
Small
you.
talk helps
Thank you,
people
stranger.
feel connected. I know you really like to feel connected. It ties back to the need to belong. It puts both of the chit chatters in a better mood. And it, like I said about broadening perspectives, it can expose you to new information. We learn about ourselves, the other person, and the world. All things that I know you really, really like.
Okay.
And if it's not enough for it to be good for you, it's good for society too, because it helps us see people maybe in a different light, maybe changes the way we see the world, makes us more trusting, increases our perception that other people and the world are kind and good. I'm trying to see if somebody else, if a stranger might get that from you.
I don't know where you read
if
this kind of stuff.
With you would give somebody an idea that the world is kind and good, but I think that's a really positive.
Okay.
That's a positive goal, right? Don't you want to spread those things?
Not really.
No.
And it's sort of like, I've told you before that in the olden times of radio, there was there's a programming side and there's a sales side.
Yeah.
And the sales side, they have their job and it's really good. And if they don't sell, we don't make money, and we know that's the valuable thing. But if we don't have people listening, they don't have anything to sell. You're selling access to an audience, to advertisers. I know it comes as a shock to people who think that it's all about you. It's not. I mean, you are actually the product. You're not the audience.
This is not the kind of mood boosting stuff I would suggest
this is
that
why
you
people shouldn't
share
talk
with
to
a
me.
stranger in the grocery store line.
The just inanity of it all, if that's a word, it's just really, I mean, there are people that go through their whole day and they spend time talking about the things that are just like, hey, boy, it's hot. It sure is hot. Yeah, it's hot. But it's Texas, So.
You're a real bummer. Can I just say that?
No, let me say, I don't think I am at all. I think I'm a very interesting person if I am forced to talk to you. But no, I probably will edit all that out.
No, it's kind of funny.
I'll probably edit that out. I don't want to speak poorly of the salespeople.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a job to do. I understand that. And by the way, that nonsense works great out there with people. It's like, but I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need that.
I think you're kind of proving to us all that you do need it, maybe. We're so studies show that we're speaking an average of 338 fewer words a day. Just think, I order my groceries. I might talk to the person who brings them out to my car briefly, but you're not spending time in line with people making small talk. You're fewer and fewer opportunities for that.
Look, God bless everyone who does this. But I've never understood, and I worked at a grocery store, so I saw people coming in, but the people that would sit and talk to the people behind them and in front of them, and they don't even know them.
Yeah,
they're just talking about stuff, and I thought it blew my mind.
It doesn't
have
to.
People do that. That people like you walk into a place. I've told you before. You walk into if I walk into a hardware store, I think girls are completely different. Men and women are very different in this kind of thing. It has to do not with who I'm asking. If I go and if I'm asking a man, I would look at a guy and say PVC, and he would say 14 on the left.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, we're speaking an average of 338 fewer words a day. So
we're using fewer words, and it's because of all the things we talked about. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're not doing this. And as a result, we're a far lesser humanity. We're so much better if we chit-chat for 7 minutes in the express lane at the grocery store.
Hold on.
How you doing? Pretty good. Pretty hot outside. God, is it hot? I'm a native Texan, and I got to tell you, I don't know. I don't know if it's getting hotter or if I'm just getting older. You're such a bummer. You are such a bummer. No, I actually said that to somebody the other day. Well, I actually said exactly that to somebody. Just to let you know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I know. I'm just saying. I wasn't making fun of it. They talked about it, and I said, I don't know. I don't know whether it's that it's getting hotter or I'm just getting older. Well, that's what you're talking about. That's all I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, I can do that. We have fewer opportunities for brief encounters like that. I'm not talking about cornering somebody, in the entryway of a grocery store and giving them an hour's worth of your deepest thoughts on the price of carrots, not anything like that. Just these random little encounters with people. And I'll see that the whole point of this is a lot of people have a hard time with chit chat. You don't have a hard time with it. You just don't like it. Well, you mean a hard time doing it? Like they don't know what to say? Yeah, they don't know what to say. So there's a little acronym. That's part of the problem. There's a little acronym for these types of conversation. Quick. Okay, think of quick. The QU is for question. You're going to hate this. You could just ask somebody a question like, how's your day going? Hey. Are you doing something fun this evening? Or what do you recommend to eat here? That's a question makes people think that you're genuinely curious. And since people like to talk about themselves, they're likely to want to answer your question. The IC stands for not. I thought you might think that the rest of it just stands for ick because you don't really want to do it. But the IC stands for in common. And this is why people talk about the weather. If you're standing someplace with, really? You're from there, so am I. Well, or no, like if you're standing near someone
and you have a quick conversation like this, they're experiencing the same kind of weather you are.
Okay,
It's
yeah, that's
something
right.
that you've
Okay,
got and
all right.
something that
What's
you've
the
got in
K
common.
for?
You can commiserate. The K, this is going to be tough for you. Kindness.
Okay.
The K.
You are so mean. Let me tell you. Let me tell
You're
you something.
so easy, though.
Yeah, let me
you're such an easy target.
Here's what I would say to everyone. Okay. So everybody lean in. If you have to have an acronym to have a chat with someone, just don't chat. Hey, I'd like to just say something to this woman I'll never see again. A woman I don't know who's going to be here in the express lane here at Walmart. And was it Q-U-I-C-K? Okay, Q-U question. Hey,
don't
how's your day
This
today?
is hard for some people, though.
I'm
Not
saying,
everybody is as outgoing as you are.
I'm saying, but see, I can do it. I choose not to do
I know.
it. And that's because I don't want to involve people with my inane who cares
it's
questions.
Just over just like that.
I know, but then what's the point? And so
the point is that connection and a little mood boost, and maybe you share a laugh and you move on.
It's a sugar high. It's a sugar high. It's not real. I'm for protein.
All right.
I'm for protein. I'm not for sugar high. And it is that, hey, I walked out and I think I just made her day.
Maybe you start these types of conversation are not about protein, but maybe they start a relationship where you get to the protein.
Okay, I'll talk to more strangers.
Okay. That's all I got.
That is funny. That's funny, Lauren. Good ender. That's a good ender.
Good.
That is a Wilder Show podcast, dropping Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time, or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. On the TikTok now and again. On Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. Email is podcast@wildershow.com, or just engage us wherever you find us. Give us a thumbs up or a comment. And wherever you get your podcast, would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share? And we'll appreciate that. And Lauren, thank you.
You bet.
And we'll see you next time. toot, toot.